Introduction. Why old friendships might not cure loneliness. Have you ever felt a deep sense of loneliness after retirement and thought, maybe visiting some old friends will help? It's a common belief. Many retirees think that reconnecting with the past will ease the emotional void left by leaving the workforce. After all, those friendships were once a source of comfort, laughter, and connection. But what if I told you that visiting old friends might actually make you feel more alone? In this video, we're going to uncover 5 surprising reasons why turning to old friendships during lonely times may not be the answer you think it is. From the evolving nature of relationships to the hidden emotional risks that come with relying too much on others, we'll break down why the past isn't always the best place to seek comfort. More importantly, we'll explore a healthier, more fulfilling approach to navigating loneliness in retirement, one that puts your growth, purpose, and emotional well-being first. So stick around until the end, because what you learn today just might shift how you see friendship and how you shape your next chapter in life. Let's dive in. Reason number 1. Friendships change after retirement. One of the hardest lessons to learn after retirement is this. Friendships don't always stay the same. You might expect to pick up right where you left off, laughing, sharing stories, and reconnecting with people who once meant so much. But the truth is, time changes everything. People grow in different directions. Priorities shift. And sometimes, the connections that once felt strong just don't feel the same anymore. Before retirement, friendships often revolved around routines, seeing each other at work, grabbing lunch, running into one another at events. But now, with those built-in routines gone, staying connected takes more effort. And when you reach out to old friends, you might find they've settled into new habits, new circles, or even a different phase of life that no longer aligns with yours. Take Ben, for example. At 72, he felt a wave of loneliness after leaving the job he held for decades. He figured reconnecting with old friends would bring back that sense of belonging. But when he tried reaching out, many of them were busy, traveling, caring for grandkids, or simply not that engaged anymore. The more he tried, the more he realized. Things had changed. And instead of feeling comforted, he felt even more alone. Here's the truth. Not every friendship is meant to last forever. Some were beautiful in their time, but that time may have passed. When you expect everything to feel like it once did, you set yourself up for disappointment. Instead of clinging to the past, consider this a moment to grow. Focus on creating new connections that reflect who you are now, not who you were. Because while old friendships may fade, new ones can bring fresh joy, meaning, and purpose. Reason number 2. You might be seeking comfort in the wrong place when loneliness creeps in. It's only natural to reach for something familiar, something that reminds you of better days. For many retirees, that means calling up old friends, hoping their presence will ease the emptiness. But here's something most people don't realize. Loneliness isn't always about missing people. It's often about missing purpose. After retirement, the structure that once gave your day meaning disappears. No meetings, no deadlines, no responsibilities pulling you forward. That loss of direction can leave a gap. And in trying to fill it, many people turn to friendships as the solution. They think, if I can just reconnect with the right people, I'll feel like myself again. But what happens when that doesn't work? You might sit with old friends, swap memories, even laugh a little, yet still feel a lingering emptiness. That's because the root of the problem isn't about being alone. It's about lacking something meaningful to engage with. Look at Lily, for instance. At 68, she spent months after retirement trying to reconnect with old friends, calling, visiting, planning get-togethers. But no matter how many people she saw, something still felt off. It wasn't until she started volunteering at a local animal shelter that everything changed. The joy, the sense of purpose, that was what had been missing all along. So the next time you feel lonely, ask yourself, am I really missing this person? Or am I missing something deeper? Real fulfillment doesn't come from chasing people. It comes from rediscovering what lights you up inside. When you build a life that excites you, connection follows naturally. Reason number 3, constantly visiting can lead to social imbalance. Friendships should feel mutual, a two-way exchange of time, care, and energy. But what happens when you're always the one reaching out, always the one driving across town, always the one initiating? What starts as good intention can quietly turn into an imbalance, where one person gives and the other just receives. Many retirees fall into this pattern without realizing it. You think you're being proactive, keeping the connection alive. But over time, a question starts to form. Why am I always the one making the effort? That's exactly what happened to Dan, a 70-year-old retiree who made it a priority to visit his old friends every week. He'd call, drop by, organize coffee meetups. His friends were polite, grateful even, but they never took the initiative, not once. Eventually, Dan began to wonder, do they actually want to see me? Or are they just being nice? That realization hurt, not because his friends were unkind, but because he realized he was pouring energy into relationships that weren't being nurtured equally. The truth is, a meaningful friendship should never feel like a solo effort. If you're the only one doing the work, it may be time to step back and reevaluate. Friendship isn't about obligation, it's about shared joy. The kind of connection that makes you feel seen, appreciated, and supported. So ask yourself, am I maintaining this friendship out of habit, or is it truly enriching my life? It's okay to let go of what feels one-sided and make space for relationships that genuinely give back. Reason number 4, over-reliance on friends can hinder. Personal growth after retirement, it's natural to crave connection. Daily routines change, social interactions decrease, and suddenly, the quiet can feel overwhelming. But relying too heavily on old friends to fill that space can quietly hold you back. Instead of exploring new interests, stepping outside your comfort zone, or meeting new people, you might find yourself clinging to the past, choosing familiarity over growth. That's what happened to May, a 74-year-old widow who poured her energy into staying in touch with childhood friends. Whenever she felt lonely, she would call, visit, and try to recreate old memories. But something was missing. Despite all her effort, she didn't feel joy. She felt stuck. She wasn't evolving. She wasn't discovering new parts of herself. She was circling back to what once brought comfort, even though it no longer fulfilled her. And that's the danger. Old friendships can feel safe, but sometimes they keep us rooted in who we were, not who we're becoming. Personal growth doesn't stop at retirement. In fact, this chapter of life is full of potential for reinvention, for discovery, for passion. So ask yourself, am I visiting this friend because it brings me joy? Or because I'm afraid of what comes next? It's okay to honor the past, but don't let it hold you back from creating a future that excites you. Try something new. Learn a skill. Start a hobby. Travel. Invest in yourself the way you've invested in others. This is your time, not to retreat, but to rise. Reason number 5. Unbalanced friendships can drain your energy. At this stage in life, your time and emotional energy are more valuable than ever. Friendships should refill your cup. not leave you feeling drained, dismissed, or depleted. But sometimes we keep relationships alive out of habit, history, or guilt, even when they no longer bring us peace. Have you ever spent time with someone and walked away feeling more exhausted than uplifted? Maybe the conversation was one-sided. Maybe they spent the entire visit complaining. Or maybe you realized they didn't ask a single question about you. That's not connection. That's emotional labor. Take Joe, for example. At 76, he took pride in being a loyal friend. He made regular visits to check in on people he'd known for decades. But over time, he noticed something. These visits were draining him. Some friends unloaded negativity. Others didn't seem to care how he was doing. And a few barely acknowledged his effort at all. He wasn't feeling closer to them. He was feeling lonelier. Joe finally asked himself, "Am I doing this out of love or out of obligation?" The truth is, not all friendships are meant to last forever. And if a relationship leaves you feeling unseen or emotionally exhausted, it's okay to step back. You deserve relationships that are reciprocal, respectful, and energizing. It's not selfish to protect your peace. It's essential. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who listen, who bring warmth into your life. Because those are the friendships that truly matter. Final thoughts and call to action. If you've made it this far, take a deep breath and really let today's message sink in. Yes, friendships are important. They add meaning, history, and connection to our lives. But they should never come at the cost of your peace, your growth, or your emotional well-being. Visiting old friends might seem like the answer to post-retirement loneliness. But if those friendships no longer serve you, it's okay to release them with love. Retirement isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one that you get to write with intention. One that doesn't rely on the past to define your joy, but instead embraces change, purpose, and the freedom to grow. So here's a gentle reminder. You are not alone. You are allowed to outgrow relationships, and you deserve friendships that nourish your spirit, not drain it. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of today's video resonated with you the most? Have you ever felt like you were holding on to a friendship that no longer felt right? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might be the very thing that helps someone else feel seen and understood. If you found this video helpful, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Share it with someone who might need to hear this message. Your support helps us keep creating meaningful content to inform, uplift, and inspire. Thank you for watching. And remember, it's never too late to build a life that feels truly yours. We'll see you in the next video.